Alright guys, Jameson and Alex. Today we're going to be talking about the spells and magic items from Strixhaven's Curriculum of Chaos, the newest Dungeons & Dragons book that was just recently released. So,
Are we leading with disappointment, or...?
Well, before we get into that,
Okay.
we do have a giveaway for D&D
Free
Beyond
stuff.
Players.
Yay, free stuff, man.
So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe
Yep.
to be entered in that. And of course, check out our sponsors, Hit Point Press. Check out their deck of many animated spells, which is a tool to assist both players and DMs, freeing you from traditional reference books and adding some flair. Each card features 8-frame looping animation that animates when the card is tilted, and each card has easy-to-reference information on the back. Order before December 19th and use code FREESHIP at checkout to receive free shipping to the US and Canada on orders of $100 or more of in-stock items and guarantee shipping in time for Christmas. Enhance your tabletop experience at hitpointpress.com/animated-spells. Now that that's all taken care of,
Now we're
now
going
we
to
can
be
get
disappointed.
disappointed.
Yay, disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Yeah. And if you've seen our overview book, you know that you knew this discussion was coming. And I'm probably going to take some big ol' angry swings at this video. Okay. Let's just say you're in a world. We've got a magical school. We're going to teach people how to use magic correctly, safely. We're going to explore these unique ways to try to find both fun and effective ways to use magic. So you would think that there'd just be all kinds of spells galore. Even if most of them are everyday useful stuff, making your life easier magic spells, or fun party trick stuff, cantrips and level 1 spells, or effectively moving stuff around, things like that. Things help you remember things. Just everyday functioning lower level stuff. Because as a student, you're going to start off by learning easier spells before you start to master throwing fireballs at people and summoning things out of the abyss. We get 5 spells. Frickin' 5. Or for you German people, 5.
Yeah, and considering Fizzband's got how many new spells? And that's not a magic school.
That's a book about dragons.
So
it's a level 1 and 4 level 2s, and that is it. Not a cantrip in the house. Not even cantrips in the house. 1 enchantment, 1 divination, 1 transmutation, 1 conjuration, and 1 necromancy spell. That is it. Clerics, they really didn't like you in this book either, because you get access to 1 of these spells.
Now, they love wizards because they are wizards of the coast, so they get access to all 5 of these spells.
Because they get access to every spell.
Sorcerers get 4 of them. Bards get 3 of them. Artificers somehow get 2 of them.
And also, warlocks, you only get 1 too. The same one that the cleric gets. An RP spell that you're not going to use because you're a warlock and you don't want to waste your spells on that stuff.
And druids get 1.
Druids also. So really, it's just, they love their wizards, they like their sorcerers, and they have a very strong relationship with their bards. And artificers.
Pretty well said, actually, surprisingly.
Okay, so spells themselves, we're going to go by power level. Because, that's the way they're listed up front. Starting off with Silvery Barb. This is a reaction level 1 spell, range of 60 feet. Magically distract the triggering creature and turn its momentary uncertainty into encouragement for somebody else. Triggering creature must re-roll the d20 and use the lower roll. You can then choose a different creature you can see within range. You can choose yourself, that's important.
Yeah.
The chosen creature has advantage on the next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw it makes within 1 minute. Creature can be empowered only 1 use of this spell at a time. So essentially, it's kind of like Bardic Inspiration, but you cutting words somebody, and then you take that, you're like life stealing an advantage and giving it somewhere else. It's cool. Yeah. I like the spell. It's a level 1 spell. It's a reaction, and those spells are really, really hard and unusual to come by. It's a very much a bard spell. It's like, I know what I'm out of Bardic Inspiration, but I got a level 1 spell, so no. You get to have it.
Yeah, it's definitely very useful and very unique, that's for sure.
Yes. And it's one of those spells at level 1 that actually would scale later
you
on,
use
too.
It. Yeah, and it'd still be effective.
Right, and to me, that's a really good level 1 spell if it still serves a purpose. Like when you got access to 5s and 6s, because like Guiding Bolt, one reason why I love it, it's the best level 1 spell in existence, is because the damage 46 is fine. It's decent for a level 1 spell. It's got great range, 120 feet, but most importantly, if it hits, it gives advantage to somebody else.
Exactly.
That works at all levels.
Especially when you get rogues.
Especially when you have rogues.
Then we get our next spell, which is Borrowed Knowledge, which is the divination spell for your bard, cleric, warlocks, and wizards.
I should say that Silvery Barbs is bard, sorcerer, and wizard.
Yeah.
By the way. Yes.
It's a given, right?
Yes.
1 action casting time, duration of 1 hour. You draw on knowledge from spirits of the past. Choose 1 skill in which you lack proficiency. For the duration, you have proficiency in the chosen skill. The spell ends early if you cast it again. So you just pick a proficiency and you just gain it.
Yep.
So, I mean, sure. It's decent. Definitely RP.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be some really niche uses.
But most divination spells do lend that way.
This is true. This is true. And it does require a book, and you would have to apparently have that because it does have a gold value attached to it. Just a way to give some extra proficiency when you need it in clutch could come in handy.
Yep.
Then we move on to the next spell. 3 out of 5 for more than halfway there already. Wow. Level 2. 1 bonus action casting time, range of self. It is for bard, sorcerer, wizards, and artificers. It is a concentration spell for 1 minute. You magically empower your movement with dance-like steps, giving yourself the following benefits for the duration. Walking speed increases by 10. You don't provoke opportunity attacks. Interesting.
Yeah.
You can move through the space for another creature, and it doesn't count as difficult terrain. If you end your turn in another creature's space, you're shunted, taking 1d8 force damage. So it's just a way to get a little bit extra movement, maybe let someone who wants to get in and out of the fray of combat
rogue
a little bit less risk without having to.
I immediately like Arcane Trickster rogue.
Yeah,
could maybe have really abused us not out of that.
Yeah, I mean they do get disengaged.
True,
but when you're concentrating on it, you cast it 1 time, 1 bonus action versus bonus action every turn.
Yeah, with that bonus action to get that offhand attack in there. Well, I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm saying.
Definitely interesting choice on there.
Next up, my personal favorite spell from the list, again, when it's only 5, a 20% chance it's going to be the one, is Vortex Warp. It's level 2 spell. It is an action, range of 90 feet, conjuration spell. Magically twist a space around another creature you can see within range. Target must succeed on a Constitution saving throw. The target can choose to fail. Important indication there. Or the target is teleported to an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see within range. The chosen space must be on a surface or in a, and this is the part I love, or in a liquid that can support the target without the target having to squeeze.
That is so strangely specific.
And the reason why this is my most favorite spell, and yes, I already thought of this, is you can move, and there's no size limitation on this. A lot of times when there's moving, pushing, pulling, it's large or smaller.
Right.
No. You're fighting a Tarask. It's not going to fail the con save, most likely.
Right.
But technically, you could teleport him into the lake.
There would be the possibility, but pretty much impossible.
Technically, but more reliable.
For the sake of fun.
It could be done. But actually, the bigger reason why, besides, yes, but not a Tarask, but if you are fighting a very large beast creature, like a mammoth, for example, you could teleport it into if you're fighting it next to a lake, and it's not going to be able to do a dang thing about it.
Right.
And then if you have another spellcaster in hand, you could freeze the lake. Or at least the area around where the creature is to like basically lock the sucker in place.
Shenanigans for sure. And also just if you need to teleport a friend for whatever reason.
Or you're just like, oh, you've all got a way to climb or fly to get up to a high ledge, and you're just like, whoop, you fly up there. Okay, swap spaces with him.
Right.
Or just move somebody up there. But I like spells where it encouraged creativity. Like I said, we're teleporting a big creature into like the pond, or like even if it's only like ankle deep, and then freeze the water. It's stuck in there.
Right. Yeah, you can do some shenanigans for sure with stuff like that.
The Tarask is the extreme example that probably wouldn't work. But the point is, it's fun. It is for Sorcerer, Wizard, and Artificer.
Because why not? And then lastly, we have the Wither and Bloom spell on here, which is for your Druid, Sorcerer, and Wizard.
That's the Druid one? No.
Who would have thought? Casting time of 1 action, 60-foot range. You invoke both death and life upon a 10-foot radius sphere centered on a point within range. Each creature of your choice in the area makes a con save, taking 2d6 necrotic damage on a fail, or half on a success. Non-magic vegetation in the area withers. In addition, one creature of your choice in that area can spend and roll one of its unspent hit die to regain a number of hit points equal to the roll plus your spell casting modifier. So yeah, you could hurt an enemy and heal a friend all in one action.
Yes.
Not too shabby for a level 2 spell.
Basically a life transference of sorts, yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. So yeah, those are the spells. Only 5 of them.
Yep. Quick, done. Next.
So yeah, also talking about magic schools, you would assume all kinds of magical artifacts, all kinds of crazy stuff going on at the school.
You know, there people be experimenting with stuff and making weird magic items all over the place.
But you know what? We don't have a lot of that. Because we only have 10 magic items.
2 of them are reprints.
2 of them are, one is a spell scroll and one's a +1 weapon.
So we're
now
down
to 8. And then of those 8, 5 of them
are the same thing.
Are basically the same thing with slight variations to them for each of the different schools.
Yes.
So
we're actually able to cover every single magic item that's in a book in a single video.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And not just pick our favorites.
So, the first one. Bottle of boundless coffee. You heard me.
I mean, you're a student studying in a school. This is going to be your favorite item that you own.
Yes, there's some
late night cramming friends.
There's some nice flavor text at the top here, but basically each time you drink the coffee, you roll a d20. On a 1, the bottle refuses to dispense coffee for the next hour. If you pour coffee from the bottle rather than drinking from it, the coffee vanishes the moment it leaves the bottle.
So every time you pour, you got a 5% chance to get nothing. You get nothing.
But the coffee inside is always comfortably warm, and none of the heat can be felt through the bottle.
And not scalding hot. It says comfortably warm.
Yes.
I'm thinking like dump the coffee in there and throw it at somebody.
Right? Also, we have the cuddly Strixhaven mascot. Representing one of the mascots of Strixhaven, this soft, tiny magic toy is perfect for cuddling. If you press it to your arm, shoulder, or leg as an action, the toy stays attached there for 1 hour or until you use an action to remove it. So you kind of set them up on your shoulder or whatever.
Just hanging out. Could you imagine like some big giant barbarian having like little
teddy bear stuck on them?
Yep.
Right, here's the fun part. The toy can also be used to fight off fear. When you make a saving throw to avoid or end the frightened condition on yourself, you can give yourself advantage on the roll if the toy is on your person. You must decide to do so before rolling the d20. If it succeeds, you can't use the toy in this way again until you finish a long rest.
So it actually has a purpose.
It does.
Getting around the frightened condition.
You're just like, ah! And you look over and you see your teddy and you're like, we got this teddy.
We've got this teddy. Let's go. Okay, so on to the primers. This is the item that there is one specific for each of the classes. There's no point in like going and reading through all of them, so we can kind of read the first one.
The second half is the same for all of them.
Correct. So the Lorehold primer does require attunement. That's by a spellcaster. All that matters. It's a magical textbook. The primer has 3 charges and regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn. If you make a history check or a religion check while holding the primer, you can expend 1 charge to give yourself a d4 bonus to the check immediately after you roll a d20. So it's guidance for specifically those 2 skill checks. In addition, if you study the primer at the end of a long rest, you can choose 1 first level spell from the cleric or wizard list. Before you finish the next long rest, you can cast a spell once without spending a spell slot. If you're holding the primer, spellcast ability for the spell is your choice of intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. So essentially, you're getting 1 free level 1 spell per day on top of the d4 checks.
Yes,
with this item, and that's
not too shabby actually.
Prismari is going to give you acrobatics and performance for your skills. and then 1 Bard or Sorcery spell. Quandrix will give you Arcana and Nature with a Druid or Wizard spell. Silverquill will be Intimidation or Persuasion, and a Bard or Cleric spell. And then Witherbloom will give you Nature or Survival, and then a Druid or Wizard spell.
Yes. So yeah, just a nice little variation on there to get an extra spell. And actually at lower levels, getting an extra first level spell slot can be a big deal.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a whole lot of spell slots early on.
Especially if you're as a Warlock.
Yeah, right.
It's like, even as you go on as a Warlock, you're still not getting more than 3 spells per short rest anyways. You're like, hey, extra level 1 spell, that's wonderful.
Yes. And then lastly, we have the Strixhaven Pennant. Magic Pennant bears the symbol of Strixhaven or one of its colleges, Lowerhold, Prismari, Quandrix, Silverquill, or Witherbloom. While you wave the pennant, the symbol on it glitters, and the pennant sheds bright light in a 10-foot radius and dim light for an additional 10 foot. So, it is just a magical lantern, essentially.
Yes.
But, you know,
It's
fun.
kind of finished with a dud there, didn't we? Talking about primers with spells and D4s to abilities. Like, oh, that's kind of a cool little magic item.
You got a kid's
and you're going to get a little signet ring looking lantern thing. That's going to be great.
That basically sums the book up in a nutshell. Just one big letdown at the end.
Oh.
No, I mean, it's fine. It's everything, but it's definitely more, as we mentioned in the overview video. Maybe you should just go check that out.
Yes, for sure. Because that's
we talk about it in depth, basically, our thoughts on the whole book as a general.
Past the overview video, this is like, okay, what's actually in the book that they really don't like that much? If we go through in details into each individual book, video, what's in here.
Right.
But the overview is a good way to see, in general, what's in there. The rest of the book is strictly a adventure or series of connected adventures. So it's really, it's literally like 85% adventure, like DM's book. Is that ratio?
It might be even more than that, honestly. There's not. It's pretty thin. Pretty thin on
the player stuff.
Because the spells and the magic items kind of even go with the campaign a little bit. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, they do.
So yeah, it's
especially the magic
even the feats and backgrounds are very much tied in there.
Yeah.
Be difficult.
The new spells can go anywhere, but there's just not very many of them.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that's it, guys. That's the magic items and spells for Strixhaven. Let us know in the comments down below what your thoughts are. If you liked the video, and remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when our new videos are coming out.
Yeah.
Guys, I got a new kid, and I'm not sleeping much, so good stuff. But doing great. Make sure you check out our sponsors, Hit Point Press. Cool stuff on there. Enhance your tabletop experience at hitpointpress.com/animated-spells. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.